Good evening, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Uncommon Sense with Jose Negron. Now, for the benefit of those of you who are not familiar with the channel or watching this channel for the first time, the reason why it's called Uncommon Sense because here on this platform, we discuss everyday issues where we try to find logical solutions. But not everyone uses logic, so for that reason, it is called Uncommon Sense. I want to let everybody know that I'm currently live on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. Okay. I also have a much smaller channel called Latina Diaspora, where I discuss issues pertaining to Latinos in the United States. The link to the channel is in the description. I also want to let everybody know that the subscriber mode has been enabled for the first 5 minutes. Meaning, if you're not a subscriber and if you wish to enter a comment in the chat, you need to subscribe to the channel. Now, we already got some commentary. I see Miss Fox specific earlier. Yes, share, subscribe, and yeah, thank you very much. So, as always, I want to give a huge shout out to all those who have already subscribed to the channel, whether you've been a supporter from the very beginning or just recently joined. I really appreciate your love and continued support, as well as those who allow me to enter into your devices and those who watch from the clouds, even the haters. So, what I'm going to ask you to do, if you have not done so already, I'm going to ask you to please subscribe, like, and set the bell notifications to all. So, therefore, whenever I do produce content, you will have the opportunity to catch it live or catch it on the playback. I see here we also have another visitor in the chat. Good evening, all heart, grit, and grind. Thank you very much for stopping by. Okay. So, the topic for tonight are what are moderators? So, I'm going to explain to you what is a role. And just for information, my name is spelled with a J, not an H. But it's okay. No one's perfect. So, before we get into the main topic, we're going to have another episode of In My Words. Well, first of all, today is Dominican Mother's Day. Okay. Now, in the United States and in several countries, Mother's Day is observed the second Sunday of the month. Um, in the Dominican Republic, Mother's Day is actually observed on the fourth, on the last Sunday of the month. It's okay, no one's perfect. And of course, a huge shout out for all the Dominican mothers, okay? Whether you are a biological mother, a grandmother, an adopted mother, aunt, older sister, or any lady who provided a positive role model to people today. So today is your day, and I just want to say a huge shout out to you. And maybe just to say a few words in Spanish. Felicidades a todas las madres dominicanas en su día. Muchas felicidades a ustedes. Y ustedes saben que ustedes han hecho un esfuerzo para dar buen ejemplo a sus hijos. So basically, as I said, these mothers, these are responsible ones, have gone out of their way to provide a good role model for their children. And of course, tomorrow is Memorial Day, when we honor and we recognize all those men and women who paid the ultimate price and shed their blood and died in military service defending our country. Okay. Not everyone is able to enter the military. So the fact that these individuals that they love their country so much that they actually died, so us we could enjoy the rights and the privileges that we have as American citizens. It's truly, truly, truly humbling. And of course, our condolences do go to the families, all those who have paid the ultimate price in serving the country in military service. There's no words that I can say to take away your grief or take away your pain. And truthfully, I would even suggest that I know what you're going through. But as long as you have loving memories of your loved one, um, they will continue to live in your in your hearts. I'm sorry, just there's just some background noise from people outside, but and of course, this weekend marks the unofficial start of summer. Okay, which will go on until the Labor Day weekend. So of course, when you think about that, think about the summer. You think about going to the beach, going to the pool, going to outdoor activities and things of that nature. Also, you think about traveling and going on vacations. One thing I will recommend is that whether you go away or stay in your local city, please be sure to take your vacation time. Okay, you do need time to unwind, unwind. You do need time to relax and to for to get a respite from the craziness of the job and things of that nature. And of course, most of us, if we do get vacation time, it's usually 2 to 3 weeks a year. So make the most of your vacation time, okay? And if you cannot travel, if you cannot travel abroad or travel far, I mean, there are many places that when you can go and travel um, that are a train ride or a bus ride. The point is, make sure to take your vacation time and take care of yourself. Okay. Now, the next thing I want to talk about is, of course, yesterday, Miss Elite had a very good program assuring regarding um, what to do and what not to do as a content creator on YouTube. Okay, so she was sharing some interesting information. Okay, um, unfortunately, the stream kind of went haywire um, due to the invasion of the ops. Okay, particularly two ops, namely Marquise and Mister. Okay, um, why they chose to to make themselves known and create havoc? You know what? I don't know. What I do know is that hurt people. And obviously, when it comes to these two individuals, something happened along the way that caused them to act the way that they did because obviously um, they lacked the maturity, they lacked the understanding to um, to cope with life situations. Okay. The fact of the matter is, in our lifetime, we're going to experience disappointments. We're going to experience difficult times. We're going to experience tragedies, okay? However, if we are fortunate, okay, um, our parents or our role models would have provided us with coping mechanisms to deal with all the disappointments and things of that nature. I think it's clear when it comes to these two individuals, they weren't provided with the wherewithal to deal with disappointments and to have a strong moral compass. Can they change? Yes, they can change. The question is, do they want to change? Only time will tell in regards to these two individuals. And unfortunately, the stream had to be privated thanks to these two individuals. Now, Mr. Lee also gave another stream regarding narcissistic people and how to avoid these people. And I just gave my point of view. And of course, when everything is boiled down to its most simplest elements, hurt people. Okay. But it is my hope, it is my prayer that these two individuals somehow come to the point in their lives when they realize that they need to deal with whatever trauma that they've gone through and become the best version of themselves. Okay. Um, Again, that's assuming that Mr. is engaged to be married. I think he owes it to his would be spouse to deal with whatever emotional trauma he went through and get the therapy he needs. So, with that being said, we're going to get into the main. Okay, now before I begin, let me just state for the record that the link to join the panel has been pinned. Should anyone at any point of time wishes to hit that link and opine regarding the topic in hand, they may do so. Again, let me just also state that if I never seen you before, if I never heard from you before, I will insist that you come up in the backstage to make sure that no one flashes anything inappropriate, which would cause the people of YouTube to take down the stream. Okay, so the topic is what are moderators? Okay, let me just share my screen. Before I do that, let me just, okay. Just give me a moment. Now, hopefully. Good evening, Don Armando. Thank you very much for stopping by. Now, here is some definitions as far as a moderator. Okay. A moderator, an internet forum moderator, a person given special authority to enforce the rules on a forum or social media platform. Okay. Also, a discussion moderator is a person whose role is to act as a neutral participant in the debate or discussion, holds participant to time. Okay, let me just scroll this down. Now, basically, so let me just stop sharing. Basically, what is the role of a moderator? Um, okay, thank you. Now, the role of the moderator, basically, what they do is to monitor the activity in the chat. Okay, they are there to make sure that everyone um, complies with the rules and regulation of the host. Okay, now it's okay. Let me just cut. Okay, thank you. So basically, is to make sure that those who are in the chat um, keep to the subject at hand. Also, at the same time, make sure that no one gets out of line and argues with anyone in the chat or try to raise an argument with the host. Okay. Now, one thing you would notice that makes them unique regarding um, the other people that are in the chat is that they have a wrench next to their YouTube title, YouTube name. Okay. Now I have multiple moderators or mods, as they call them. Okay. Now among the ability that they have, uh, they can delete inappropriate text. They can also put people on timeout for about 5 minutes. Also, they can remove people from the chat. Okay. And this is very important because unfortunately, from time to time, you're going to see people who enter the chat. Uh, what they're going to try to do is create havoc so people can focus on them and try to take control of the stream. That is, and unfortunately, we all have to deal with trolls at some point. Now, there are trolls that are a minor nuisance, and then there are trolls that harass. Okay, so what the authority that I give my mods is the following: to keep an eye on the chat. Make sure, and also encourage. Also, what they do is also encourage others to enter any comments in the chat. Okay. Also, they might encourage the audience to to subscribe to the host channel. Also, they can also post links to other to channels of other your content creators. Okay. One thing I will do from time and time again is I would encourage those who are my supporters to show some love to the other content creators in the chat and check out their content and subscribe to their channels. Like, for example, Don Armando has this YouTube channel, I think, all hot grit and grind. I think you also have a YouTube channel, if I'm not mistaken. So I would humbly suggest that you check out their content and considering subscribing to their channels. Now, why do I do this? Because look, most of us are not large. Are not large content creators. Okay. When I mean not large, I'm referring to content creators that have hundreds of subs. Okay. So not helping, helping to grow their channel, and hopefully, if their goal is to become monetized. So we here we like to help each other out. So we will recommend their channels. They will, and then some of them will recommend my channels, things of that nature. Now you got different types of mods. Okay. Let me just do a little research a moment. Okay. Now maybe just share with you how to become okay. Now, one thing that I as a content creator can do is that I can enable another content creator or another person to become a mod. So what I'll do is I'll go to my settings, and then I will give them the authority to become moderator. So therefore, what happens is whenever they enter comments in the chat, you're going to see them with a wrench. And these are the steps to become a YouTube moderator. Create a YouTube account, understand YouTube community guidelines, engage with the target audience, reach out with content creators, stay updated, use moderation tools effectively, continuously learning and using the moderation tool. Okay. Okay, excuse me, all right. So let me just share with you regarding some more information becoming a YouTube moderator. And this was written by Gabriel Davies a couple weeks ago. As one of the largest video sharing platforms, YouTube relies heavily on skilled moderators to ensure a safe and engaging community. With millions of uploads daily, moderation becomes important. And it's a blog. Okay, so. Let me just give me a moment. Let me just give you some more definite define further moderator. A moderator is someone who oversees and regulates interactions within a community or platform, ensuring that the rules are followed, discussions are civil, and harmful content is removed. They play a crucial role in maintaining a positive and safe environment for users. So my moderators, or my mods, as I like to call them, they serve a very important function. What they do is they assist me to create a safe environment for all those who wish to comment in the chat or wish to enter the panel and have a discussion with the host. Okay. And with that, they have authority, they have power. They have the power to encourage people to support the host channel. Also, those content creators in the chat. They can also post links. They can also delete harmful comments. They can also put people in timeout when they continue to misbehave. They can also remove them from the chat. Okay. Now depending on the host in question, um, the mods will have various degrees of autonomy in order to function. Okay, just give me a moment. Like I know there are YouTube creators that basically give them complete authority um, to the mods to make sure that no one misbehaves, no one enter any harmful content. Now, unfortunately, we're living at a time where we have people who try to flash inappropriate content. Okay, what they might do is they might trolls might do is they might post links that lead to porn sites. Good evening, Femi. Thank you very much for stopping by, and I'm really glad that you came back. Um, I just want you to understand that that this is a safe environment um, for not only for you but anyone who wishes to enter the chat or hit the panel. So the topic of tonight: what are moderators? So moderators make sure to control that the inmates don't take over the assailant, so to speak, if you know what I mean. And of course, you, Femi, you are fully aware of the incels that have invaded. Okay, that invaded Miss Listening's channel, and of course, unfortunately, yesterday's live had to be privated because a certain individual spoiled it for everybody else, and Miss Elite was sharing a lot of great information. Okay. Now, as far as rules over here, I don't have a lot. Okay. I first of all, I don't censor people here because I trust people here. I trust everyone here to have enough decorum to say to self monitor and make sure they don't say anything out of character or out of pocket. What I do request and I do insist that there be mutual respect, not only with those that are on the panel, but with those that are on the chat. And of course, being that this is an open discussion forum, there's going to be times that people are going to state opinions where we may not fully disagree, and that's not a problem. Okay, as long as we are able to be agreeable when we disagree. Okay. The problem is when you have, and I'm not going to, when you have individuals in the chat or on the panel not showing respect, saying angry words, things of that nature, it's contrary to the type of environment that I'm trying to create. Now, how other YouTube creators, how they govern their content, that's totally up to them. I'm not the type of person that likes chaos. I'm not the type of person like people who are going back and forth and things of that nature. And I'm not the type of person that would tolerate people being disrespected. I will exercise whatever authority that I need to do in order to maintain a safe environment. Good evening, Georgia. Thank you very much for stopping by. So tonight's topic is, what are moderators? So these are individuals that I have selected to help me to monitor the activity in the chat and on the panel. Okay. There are now, most of the people that are my mods are most of them are other content creators. One or two are not. Okay. But they support this channel by watching my content, or they might enter a comment, or they might hit the like button and things of that nature. Now, generally, I don't ask people to donate. I mean, because I think that you do enough by viewing my content, hitting the like button, and sharing it as well. You know what? I'm glad to hear that too. And that's the thing. I take my role as a content creator very seriously. Okay. And and it bothers me whether there is conflict on my panel or in the chat. Okay, it bothers me because, first of all, that's not the type of person I am. I'm not here to create chaos. I'm here to provide a forum where people can express their views freely. Okay, and okay. Plus, you banners from your platform don't even bother to leave feedback and stuff. They get your message and don't even talk to me. Not even Mr. is welcome. Okay. Look, the issue. Look, now, I don't like to ban people from the platform, but I will if necessary. Thank you. Okay. And the reason why I ban people from this platform is because they will not abide by the rules that I have set here on this platform. Okay. Look, let me tell you something. When it comes to content creators commenting about whether it be me or whether it be anyone that's on the chat or anyone that I hang with, um, I cannot control what they say. I can only control my response. Now, when it comes to individuals that says all sorts of ish, the best thing to do is to ignore them. Okay. Now, usually, for the most part, that stops them. Unfortunately, there are some individuals that are persistent and they harass other content creators. And one thing I have noticed is things like um, the female content creators, they get it worse. That's my opinion. Femi, um, if you wish to comment on that, you can do so. But I think, in all fairness, I think the female content creators, they had to deal with it worse. And I can and let me just see this. Such as folks who know our families, but yeah. Let me tell you. Let me explain to you what that means. Um, but yeah, they have a lot to say. I mean, they are entitled to their opinion. Doesn't mean I have to listen to it. It doesn't mean I have to comment on it. It just basically, you know what? All I can say is bless their hearts. And do not let the door hit you with the good Lord split you. And of course, I would encourage you to please subscribe to the content creator that's in the chat, which is currently. Let me just see because I'm having a senior moment. Oha, Grid and Guy, Famis, George R, and Don Amando. So please check out their comments, check out their content, and subscribe. Now, being that this is an open forum channel. Um, my mods are there to help me to maintain a safe environment for people to opine, hit the link and join, and not having to deal with the stupidity of some people. Okay, let's not deal with the shave part down the mountain. But look, but going back, unfortunately, in my opinion, the female content creators they have a lot of grief to deal with. Part of it is you have um, immature males that do not know how to approach members of the opposite sex. You have you have immature males that treat women as human recreational centers, that they're only there to satisfy their lustful and carnal desires. And folks, women are more than that. Okay. I myself am a product of my mother's upbringing. Okay. I think my mother did an outstanding job raising me. Okay. Now, getting back as far as the mods, they can ban people. Okay. Now, how the mods operate, it depends on the YouTube creator. There are YouTube creators that tell the mods, go ahead, do your thing, do not ask for permission. Okay. And then there are those who before they block anyone, have a discussion with the host. This is the thing. As long as people are being respectful in the chat, there's no need to block them. Okay. And if they say something that maybe my mods might disagree with, don't block them. Okay. At least hear them out and hear what is they have to say. Because look, we're not always going to agree with everyone. And one thing I want to make that perfectly clear. I don't operate at an echo chamber here. This is not a cult. I don't expect everyone to blindly follow me. I don't expect people to blindly believe everything I say or do. What I expect is Good evening, Dreamy. Thank you very much for stopping by. Long time no see. So tonight's topic is, what are moderators? And my friend Dreaming is another mod, a very good mod on top of that. And of course, she has her YouTube channel where she talks about issues regarding mixed people. And so I'm going to ask you that you please show some love to my friend Dreaming. Check out her content and subscribe. Also, I want to let everybody know that the link to her channel is in the description. Okay. But getting back, the mods are they're like my team. Okay. They make sure that no one gets on the line. They make sure that inappropriate comments get deleted. They put people on timeout. They can also remove people from. Okay, well, you know what? I'm sorry. I'm truly sorry that happened. But you gotta do what's best for you, Jimmy. Nevertheless, you're more than welcome here. And one of the things that I find sad is the amount of disrespect that female content creators have to go through. Many of them are harassed. Many of them have to deal with trolls. Some of them have been doxxed. Some of them have been threatened. And all because of weak incel males. It is okay. It's not. I'm not saying happy. I will never forget all the friends I've made. Well, you know what? Dreaming. Please always remember you. I love you very much. Okay, and I'm sorry that you made the decision that you made, but you gotta do what's best for you, and you gotta do um, to maintain your peace. Yeah, I agree. Now, now going back to the topic. Um, of course, the host can make a person a mob by giving them a wrench. It can also remove another wrenches as well. And I see here we have Riza. Good evening. Thank you very much. Now, this is another example of okay, of a wrench, of a great mod in action. Okay, Riza is one of my best mods because what she will do is uh, she'll put the link not only to my YouTube channel, but also other people as well. So you know, without a doubt, Riza is like, I mean, she's like the perfect example of a mod, of a real great mod. And I really appreciate you, Riza. Thank you very much. But those are some of the things that mods do. Not only do they control make sure that no one goes crazy or gets disrespectful. They also put links. Okay. And one thing I have to give a huge shout out to all my supporters. Okay. Yes. Thank you. Because let me tell you something. I have supporters from all different communities. I have supporters who are from the African American community. I have supporters who are mixed. I have supporters who are Latino. I have supporters. And the fact of the matter is, um, my content is actually watched not just in the United States but overseas as well. Whenever the day comes when you reach 2 million subs, it's going to tag the very crazy out of the comments and you need. You know what? I think I'm gonna have. You know what? I think if that day ever comes when I reach 2 million subs, I'm gonna have to hire a whole team. Thank you. But no, but seriously, I have learned I have learned to depend so much on my mods. Okay, because you do make my job a lot easier. Okay, so I'm able to focus on my content. I'm able to focus on presenting my information and things of that nature. I don't have to be worrying about keeping an eye, keeping an eye on the chat and what things of that nature. Now, one thing I didn't realize. Let's see when this is. You know what? I think. Look, let me tell you something. Um, I think I'm gonna need more. Not only am I gonna need more mods. I think I'm gonna need like a team. I mean, something. Okay, perhaps someone like a create like a creation team, maybe like a think tank or things of that nature. Um, like someone to monitor my content, to make sure that no one enters any inappropriate comments in the chat, because basically I do that myself. Yeah, you know what? I think at some point I'll probably will. Now I do know that once I get monetized, I will have access to certain resources that will help me to make sure that I stay in compliance with the YouTube guidelines. Speaking about YouTube guidelines, I'm going to be talking about the YouTube guidelines on my next stream. Okay. And to be perfectly honest, Miss Elite inspired me to do this because I think she did an excellent job um, breaking it down what what you could do, what you shouldn't do, and also discussion regarding what happens when you do violate the community guidelines. Okay, which is in the beginning, it looks like they interpret it as an innocent mistake, and they give you training and things of that nature. And then if you do not violate the guidelines after I think 90 days, the strike is removed. Yes, thank you, Risa. Of course, if you you know if you you know if you you know if you if you do violate the guidelines, the additional strikes, and eventually this comes a time when your channel can be deleted. Okay, and there have been content creators that have been demonetized uh, due to violation of the community guidelines. And there's a few examples. Like now, I not going okay. Like Fresh and Fit, they were demonetized for constantly breaking the community guidelines. Cynthia G had her channel deleted multiple times for the same issue. Angry biracial had been demonetized. Now, he had stated that he did not understand the reason why. I think he got his monetization back. I don't know because I don't watch his content on a regular basis, so I can't say either way. But basic about the way I see the way I like to refer to with my mods as basically making sure that no one loads any inappropriate content, making sure that no one is disrespectful, making sure that comments, inappropriate comments, are deleted. And people be put in timeout, also people being removed from the panel. Okay, just give me a moment. And a huge shout out to the people watching the stream now. Okay, and of course you can share this content just as long as you don't use it to attack me or anybody else. So, and one more thing, when it comes to let me just give you my criteria um, as far as those who become mods. Anyone that consumes my content on a regular basis, anyone that subscribes to my channel, and as an active participant in my content, what I will do is I will make them mods, and I'll give them the authority to assist me to maintain a safe environment so people, if they choose to, can enter their comments in the chat or hit the panel. So now I have been talking for almost an hour. Again, if anyone wishes to hit the link and opine regarding the topic in hand, they may do so. Of course, you're more than welcome to enter any further comments. If no one hits the link or enter any more comments, I will start to wrap this up. Okay. Another thing about me, when it comes to my lives, usually it goes from anywhere from an hour to 2 hours. Very rarely do I do it more than 2 hours. Now, if it's if towards the end of the live, there's a lot of conversation going back and forth. There's a lot of feedback going back and forth. I'll let it go on for maybe another half hour or so. But realistically speaking, for the most part, I keep it anywhere from an hour or two, and I'll tell you why. First of all, anything that could be said has been said within an hour or two. Number one. Number two, people have lives, okay? Because not everyone can partake of a life from the beginning or end. So at times you have people who watch it from the clouds for maybe half an hour, 40 minutes, or what have you, and then they'll leave, and then other people will tune into the stream. And particularly those that are on that catch it on the playback. What they will do is they will take a 2 hour stream. They might watch 40 minutes of it, and then the next time another 40 minutes, and the next minute more. Okay, and things up another 40 minutes. Not everyone. All right, have a good night. All hot and great and grind. A good night, and enjoy the rest of your holiday. So, what was I saying? Yes. So there are people that can watch an entire stream from the beginning or end, and then there are those that will watch it in segments. Okay. So that's the reason why. Um, the longest live I ever did was 4 hours and 45 minutes, and it got very crazy towards the end. Okay, where people arguing back and forth, people cursing at each other, and it was not a good scene by any stretch of the imagination. Okay. I'm just checking to see if anyone, okay, because watching from um, Instagram. And of course, unfortunately, the people who were arguing with most of them were my mods, which does not make it okay. Um, so what I will do is when I see where the discussion is leading to something that's like an argument, I will try my best to steer it to a different direction. Uh, I don't like to mute people because I'm counting on um, people to mute, to control themselves. Okay, we are not kids. Okay, this is not a nursery, things of that nature. All of us are adults, and we should be able, to once the host says let's change the subject, to move on. Okay. If I have to mute panelists, I will do so. If I had to put banners in the backstage so then to calm down, I will do so. If I had to remove panelists, I would do so as well. Okay. Because when everything is said and done, this is my platform. This is my cyber home. And I am responsible for everything that goes on here. So that's why I'll do what I need to do. Now, Marty, uh, I never had to put anyone in the backstage. I have removed maybe 2 or 3 people from the panel and the backstage because they refuse to abide by my rules and regulations. And look, one thing to bear in mind when you are in the chat of another content creator, or you are on the panel of another content creator, you have to abide by the rules and regulations that the host has established. Okay? Because failure to do so will ultimately means that you will be removed, and there is a possibility that you may be banned. Okay? Because people can be blocked. Okay? And of course that upsets people, particularly the trolls, because they love attention. And when you ignore them, that is the worst thing that you can do to a troll, is to ignore them. Excuse me. Yeah, it drives them crazy because they crave attention, which is why I will not entertain people who do not know how to behave. Thank you, Risa. I will not entertain people who are unable to be agreeable when they disagree. I will not entertain people that call me names, that call anyone on the panel names, or anyone in the chat name. I will not. Okay. This is my channel. This is my platform. I govern how things are done. Okay. And thank you for whoever does subscribe to my channel. I really do appreciate it very, very much. Now, before I start to wrap this up, let me just highlight again certain things that I do in order to try to maintain a safe space. First of all, what I will do is I will enable the subscriber mode, and you can do that when you go into your settings, into your YouTube studio. You can enable the subscriber mode. You will determine how long is be enabled, whether it be 5 minutes, 10 minutes, or what have you. Generally, I set it for 5 minutes. Meaning, if someone who's not a subscriber, and if they wish to enter a comment in the chat, they have to wait 5 minutes. So that way, I get subs, and also one way to avoid the trolls. Another thing that I do is anyone that I don't know, I never heard, enters my backstage, I will insist that they come up in the backstage before I let them on the panel. And there's a reason why. Trolls love anonymity. Okay. They love hiding behind an avatar or no avatar. And what some of them will do, unfortunately, they will try to flash genitalia. Okay. And they do it for a purpose to try to get YouTube to take down the stream. Now, when it comes to cursing, I don't know. It's one thing if you say an occasional colorful word now and then. It's another thing like for every polite word you say 10 curse words. That's a little different. And realistically speaking, most of the time, people they self censor themselves. So there's really no need for me to censor anybody. Okay, I don't like to censor anybody. Okay, I encourage people to express their point of view. Now, am I going to agree with them? No, but I will at least listen to what they have to say, and I'll just simply say, you know what? With all due respect, I respectfully disagree, but I respect your right to hold your views, and that is the mature way to deal with people with different points of view. I mean, look, in all fairness, I have virtually had disagreements with everyone that appeared on the panel or the chat. But one thing to bear in mind, this is not an echo chamber. I encourage people to express their point of view freely and without hesitation. Because we can learn and we might be exposed to a different perspective. But we're not going to do that if we don't encourage respectful dialogue. So what I'm going to do is, being that no one is going to accompany me to the on the panel, I'm going to start. I'm going to start to wrap this up. But the fact of the matter is, I am blessed to have a great group of mods who help me to maintain a safe platform, a safe cyber home for people to opine and express their point of view. And if there are content creators that do not have mods, consider creating mods. You know, and again, it should be people who actively support your channel and actively support your vision. So with that being said, I will start to wrap this up. I will be live tomorrow night at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, where I will have a discussion regarding the YouTube guidelines. So we will discuss to make sure that you do not violate the community guidelines. And if you do, what are the consequences and what you can do to correct those mistakes? As always, more than welcome to share the content as long as you don't use it to attack me or anybody else. The playback end, you're more than welcome to enter your comments. Just be mindful that anything inappropriate will be deleted. And of course, I'm going to close the same way that we always close. We must do everything possible to avoid the presence of the mentally and intellectually challenged, because if we fail to do so, we would be infected by the stupidity and massive insanity. This has been another episode of Uncommon Sense with Jose Negron, saying good night, take care, and peace.